All right, guys, what's going on? We're going to do something new. Well, I say that a lot, but we usually do. And that is we're going to look over great matches, bad booking. Matches that are great to watch for action and thrills, but not so much if you care about booking. And of course, we're looking at December to Dismember 2006. Often considered one of the worst pay-per-views WWE ever produced, and for good reason. They used one of their weakest brands to fill out a pay-per-view, which is a terrible idea in and of itself. And you could tell just by looking at this card, like Eminem, Hardy Boys, not ECW guys. And the ECW matches that they did have, aside from the main event, were literally just filler matches. But the match everyone talks about is aside from the mixed tag, is the Extreme Elimination Chamber main event for the ECW World Championship. I really liked this match. I did. Like, everyone did a great job, and I like the little inclusion of the weapons in there. Like, see there, like the difference between an Extreme Elimination Chamber match and a regular is that the four pods have a weapon in them, and you can use that weapon in the match. And the weapons, include a steel chair, a crowbar, a barbed wire baseball bat, and a table. And I also did love this one spot when Lashley was trapped inside his pod by Paul Heyman's security guys. He used a table to break the chain on the top of the pod. That was awesome. Showed Lashley's a smart guy, so I like that. And it was kind of a cool just match to show off people who really weren't in the main event, but you just saw Test, he ran through everybody in this thing. Well, he ran through Hardcore Holly and RVD, but you know what I mean. And also the way he eliminated RVD was awesome as hell. You should go check it out when he pulled RVD's ponytail, threw him off the top of the pod, and then hit the top rope elbow drop. That was fucking cool. But I don't think everyone liked it, and I can tell you why. It's because of who won. Bobby Lashley, personally, I think he's a great wrestler. He looks amazing too because it's 2020 and he looks the exact same as he did back in 2006. But he is dull as dishwater as a personality, and that shined like a diamond back in 2006. Because he was bland. He was. They tried to make him a cool badass, and he kind of was, but you could also kind of see he really didn't have much else going. He was just kind of the big tough guy who was a good wrestler, and it was kind of a badass. He had that thing where he dove through the steel cage to get to Umaga, which was awesome. But the people in this match, CM Punk, for instance, was one of the people where a lot of the controversy of this event came from because, according to Paul Heyman, he had pitched that Punk would start the match with the Big Show and eliminate him quickly with the Anaconda Vice, getting a surprise upset over the champion and eventually winning it. That would get Punk over huge, but the problem was Vince didn't like it. Even Big Show did agree to do it. He wasn't against doing it, according to Heyman. But Vince said no and just went with Lashley instead. And another thing about this match is Sabu was taken out of it. He was originally in Hardcore Holly's spot, but during the pay-per-view, Sabu was seen taken out, and I don't know if they ever explained what that was. I think it might have been just something Paul Heyman did, but I don't remember. And so Hardcore Holly was basically placed in this position. According to the legend, it was because Vince wanted Bobby Lashley to face more villains, which makes sense. And it has been said that Sabu was difficult to work with, and he didn't really seem motivated to do anything. So I guess I could kind of get that perspective by the WWE, but at the same time, this is where Sabu shines. In matches where there's no rules, he can fly and be extreme and do all that bullshit. And like they even said they didn't think he was useful for anything other than these like hardcore matches, which is even more nonsensical that you take him out of it. Like if you don't think he shines in regular matches, have him shine in this. Makes sense. And also people were also kind of hoping for RVD to win because as we know, he was the champ. He won the title at One Night Stand 06, but he got arrested following drug possession charges, and he was released. He relinquished the championship basically by losing to the Big Show. And I think the problem was the company really was hesitant to trust RVD again. Because if he was still taking drugs when and putting him on a bad public image when he was the champion, there's no telling what he can do. Like if he has it again, maybe he'll do the same thing. And I get that perspective, but and Lashley's not bad at all, but like the ECW crowd didn't care. This is not Bobby Lashley is not what an ECW crowd wants in a wrestler. They want someone like RVD or CM Punk who doesn't look like a jacked bodybuilder like Lashley does, or who's different, counterculture, all that crap. And yeah, this, and in hindsight, like his world title reign wasn't even like great. Let's actually see what he did afterwards. Okay, that's Armageddon, New Year's Resolution. Let's see what New Year's Resolution was a Raw show. So let's see. Okay, Bobby Lashley beat Test by countout at the Royal Rumble. Probably would have been a fine match, but seriously, that's a dumb way to get out of it. Let's see what he did. Bobby Lashley, Mr. Kennedy beat him by disqualification. Why does he doesn't even have a single clean title defense on pay-per-view? So whatever. And this is when he defeated Umaga with help from Trump. Boy, that must seem awkward nowadays, doesn't it? But yeah, he beat Umaga in like a really good match, in my opinion. Two athletic heavyweights going at it is fun. And that was probably the biggest win of his career up until that point. And this is when he lost the ECW championship to Mr. McMahon. And it would take him a while to get it back. Yeah, it took him until the One Night Stand 2007 to win it. But it was all for nothing because Lashley was drafted. It says right here, Lashley was drafted to Raw and forced to relinquish his ECW World Championship. So it was all for nothing. That sometimes happens. Like sometimes you have a big babyface that gets the big win at a pay-per-view, but they just don't know how to continue that momentum, and it just ends up not working. And I think that's the problem with Lashley's here. Like ECW fans weren't interested in seeing Lashley, and his title reign was nothing special. Like I don't think it was anything horrible because he was featured on pay-per-view a lot, but it was nothing special, especially considering he couldn't get like clean victories over Test and Hardcore Holly of all people. Like, what the hell? So that's going to be it for the first episode of Great Matches, Bad Booking. If you have an idea of what you want me to cover on this, feel free to comment down below, and I might get to it eventually. Because I have other ideas, and those don't take precedent over yours, because I appreciate your ideas, but you know what I mean. Love ya, and I'll see you next time.